I flew from Hartford, Connecticut to Las Vegas just within the last few years. I will never forget a mother age 30 through. Got on the plane. Very attractive looking woman. Well-built, lovely face, hair put up in a bun, sprayed heavily. Earrings, looking very upper middle income, gold on the fingers. And she had with her little Jeffrey. Jeffrey is 4 years old. I know that because Jeffrey kept walking around the plane. Just anybody, I'm 4 years old. I'm 4 years old. I was 3, but now I'm 4 years old. Little Jeffrey. I remember his name not because he said to me, I'm 4 years old, but because Jeffrey's mother said his name all 2,500 miles of the trip. Nobody on first class could sleep because the woman, Jeffrey, will you get down? Jeffrey, don't do that. Jeffrey, come over here. Oh, look at what you've done, Jeffrey. You've kicked the Jeffrey. Will you please, Jeffrey? Put your jacket. Don't do that, Jeffrey. And Jeffrey would stand up in the chair and look at the little man behind her. I for you saw. And nobody could sleep, just Jeffrey coming. Then Jeffrey would get out. She'd let him run around. Jeffrey run around with chocolate on his hand. Put it on your trousers. I 4 years old. Jeffrey, get over. Don't you see what you've done to the man, Jeffrey? Don't do Jeffrey, sit down, Jeffrey. And she'd sit him down higher and higher. She'd lift him and hold him and let him drop. Jeffrey. And Jeffrey would, Jeffrey, be quiet. And then Jeffrey would cough. People began to hate Jeffrey. One gentleman invited Jeffrey into the men's room to play with the blue water. Emotionally, people began to fear Jeffrey, and nobody slept. And 5 minutes before the plane landed, Jeffrey fell asleep. And grown people in first class took great delight as they walked out in waking Jeffrey up. Goodbye, Jeffrey. And they'd laugh, sounding like Renfield. And Jeffrey's mother, hair mangled and just hanging by the ball that was sprayed. And the mascara had run. And the lines caused by her anger gone deeper into her face. She looked much older. She looked tired. She picked Jeffrey up. Jeffrey's little limp, sleeping body twitched. She carried him off, and there at the end of the runway, at the end of the ramp, rather, was Jeffrey's father, smiling, well-tanned, little red, white, and blue checkered golf pants on, short-sleeved shirt. And Jeffrey's mother handed Jeffrey to the father and punched him dead in the face. We don't know why. Jeffrey's such a lovely child. But you see the brain damage. Children doing things. You stop touching me. Psychologists write about a 2-year-old child. It's not a 2-year-old child that says, no, that bothers me. If I can't control that, I might as well give it up. You say to a kid, come here. Say, no, you go get it. That's yes. People don't understand children, especially people who have no children. Person with no children says, well, I just love children. You say, why? And they say, well, because the child is so truthful. Children are truthful. That's what I love about them. They say the truth. That's a lie. I got 5 of them. The only time they tell the truth is if they're having pain. You get a 15-month-old child knows when to lie. You see, the child crawled into the cupboard to get its favorite cookie. 15-month-old child knows where the cupboard is, knows where its favorite cookie is. And it will open it up and sit down and take the cookie. You go over and you try to get the cookie from the child, which is also a contest. Here, let me have it. I've tried to take things away from grown people. I've never had to say, will you let me give me that thing? Here, let me have it. I'll tell you, let me have that thing. But here, a 15-month-old child is able to do this, and I can't grab it. Here, will you let me have it? Will you give that thing to me? So I take the cookie, and I take the box, and I put the cookie in the box, and I say, you can't have this. You understand? I don't want you to have the cookie. Now, and I put it way up here. Now, this 15-month-old child, after I've left the room, begins to build a very sophisticated ladder, climbs up the ladder, and begins to try to get the cookie. Now, you can hear the paper rustling, and that's in your favor because the 15-month-old child doesn't know that sound travels. They're also not bright enough to hire a lookout. So you hear the paper rattling, and you run, and there's the child standing there with the cookie. So you say, what are you doing? Now, this honest child looks at you and says, I was getting the cookie for you. So you say, I don't want the cookie. So then they say, well, can I have it? Don't tell me about the truth.